What's up, good people? Matter of fact, I need some help, man.
Yes, sir.
This is help a brother out. So Dex, I need you to help me out with the introduction, man.
Well, hey, good evening, good people. In partnership with WYTV7 Christian Broadcast Network, this is When Men Open Up, a show where we are redefining manhood through transparency. I have Dexter Peggins.
My name is Dominique.
Hey, man, that felt weird, man.
I bet you it did. I just needed some help because I always do the intro, man. So I just wanted to switch it up. I didn't even tell Dex I was going to do that. But, hey, we got to ask for some help.
Yes,
and we on part 2, help a brother out. And the last one was very, very good. We had some great responses, had some great comments.
Definitely.
And we had some people that's sharing a lot of personal stories about asking for help, why they don't ask for help. And we're going to get into, last week, we got into the mindset, why people don't do it, why we kind of lag on it, why we avoid it, what's the societal view or perspective towards it, and how it is affecting us. You know, how are we viewing it, and do we look at it as a soft thing, a weak thing, and so forth and so forth. But this time, or during this episode, we want to get into really executing it, really just how to get what you need, how to get the help that you want and desire. And we're going to really get into some strategic ways of really getting what you need.
Oh, definitely, because it's necessary. You know, I think for far too long, we've been allowing a lot of excuses keeping us from moving forward.
Yeah.
And so hopefully at the end of this show, you'll be armed with some know-how. And not only will you be armed with know-how, but you will be inspired to move forward.
Most definitely. And once again, when it comes down to ask for help, we're going to keep voicing this. It's not easy. It's not always easy, especially depending on what you're requesting. Exactly. And what you're needing. It's not always easy, but it doesn't always have to be complicated. It doesn't always have to be complicated. There are some good ways or some valuable things that we can implement so we can really get what we really want and need and so forth. But let's get right into it, man. We're going to go one by one, or whatever the case may be. And a matter of fact, I want everybody who's listening, whether you're listening live or you're listening to the replay or whatever the case may be, I want you to send us some tips as well, especially if you think we missed something. And while you're listening live, send us some things as well. Send us some tips on what you usually implement to really get get the help that you need as well. But Dex, man, what are some things that we can do to really get the help that we need?
Well, first thing first, I'm a firm believer in doing a thorough self-evaluation. And what I mean is that a lot of times we allow wrong perceptions, our beliefs about our own inadequacies. You know, we allow that to hinder us from getting that help. And so we have to do an evaluation and say, okay, what is this that's keeping me from asking for the help?
Yeah.
So last week we talked about, whether it is, fear or, a perception of weakness. But the reality is that those fears and those perceptions are all up here. And so you have to ask yourself, why am I allowing this to keep me from advancing? Is your own misconception, is the inadequacy that you feel, is that greater than the outcome that can come simply by asking for the help? And so self-evaluation, I believe, is huge. Once again, I'm a big self-reflection guy, identity guy. And at the end of the day, it all starts about looking in. And so challenge those norms within yourself that are keeping you from asking for the help. Once you got over the fact that, hey, look, it's weakness or whatever, once you've recognized that, hey, that's not weak asking for help, now it's time to put the things into operation.
And that's so good because, and this is one of my points, that's so good because by us being aware of how we are feeling about requesting help, asking for help, going to someone for help, now we are understanding how we may communicate. That how we feel is going to affect how we communicate.
Exactly.
It's going to affect the request. It's going to affect our approach and everything else. There are a lot of people who ask me for help, but one of the things they do is they'll beat themselves down. They say, man, I know, man, you busy, man, and you just got so much, man. Hey, man, I mean, before I even ask, you ain't got to do it, man. You ain't got to do it. And hey, man, you know what? You probably got something else going on, and I just feel so bad. You talk yourself out of it, and it's so good to be aware of that, because we entertain so many thoughts that we end up, developing our own outcome.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? And another thing is that causes a lot of anxiety. A lot of anxiety because we entertain so many things, so many situations, so many scenarios of how this thing is going to play out, that, we end up not doing it at all, or we end up, really talking ourselves out of, actually going for the help, and really discouraging the other person for making the person feel uncomfortable about really helping you out. And it's true. I mean, because we'll do it so much, and I really want us to really be mindful, like you said, do the evaluation so we can be mindful of what's really going on in our minds, because that's going to really affect our communication. That's going to affect our approach and how we come at the person.
Man, that's huge, and I wanted to share this point because, it's something that, I'll be honest with you, I've struggled with it before, and I have, let me say, I've made investments that I didn't foresee myself making. Let me put it that way.
We all have.
But one of the things I would also recommend and suggest is have a good understanding of the outcome that you want, before you ask for help. There have been a number of times that I've taken the step to ask for help, that I've gone to contracts with people, and the service that they provided wasn't what I wanted for myself. Now, they did what they were supposed to do. They provided the service that they said they would provide, but because I didn't have an understanding of the help that I really needed, I actually spent money in places that I shouldn't have spent. And so I would say get a good understanding of the outcome that you want. Now, also, this is not just limited to a monetary service. One of the things is that you have to find, when it relates to help, find the type of person that who's equipped to help you get to where you want to get. One of the things that we've talked about this on previous shows. I have mentors who are excelling in certain areas that I want to excel in. And they become my mentors because I've identified that they had something that I didn't have in a certain area that I wanted to see success in. And so because I identified the area that they were succeeding in, that made me reach out to them. It wasn't just, hey, I see you doing a few things. No, I see you're doing well in business. I see you're doing well as a husband and as a father. And, these are some of the areas that maybe I'm lacking in. So, can we create a relationship, a mentee-mentor relationship where I can lean on you and you can help me become better in those areas?
Most definitely. And I like when you said know exactly what you need. I think part of what really helps us know exactly what we need is almost asking yourself the what, the when, the where, the how, and so forth and so forth. And I believe usually if we can answer those questions, we can really be more specific with what we really need. And once again, it helps with the communication. Like we say, help me help you, and if you're not clear with me, then it'll be very hard to understand how I can really assist you. But I think it really helps. I'm a firm believer of writing things out sometimes, and really make a list of everything that you do need. Sometimes make a list of what you really want to say. I've been in conversations where in my mind I knew what I wanted to say, but then when I finally had a conversation with them, all of that in my mind previously didn't really come out. You get what I'm saying? I've been in a few situations like that, and sometimes it helps just to write that stuff down. So make a list of what you want, what do you really want to request, and so forth. But I think with the next point that you made, it's very important to really research people and understand that what does that really entail, and really just doing a firm analysis on what that person can really provide, like you stated. And it may be with in terms of business, just doing simple reviews, looking at testimonials, taking time out to really have a sit down with that person, have a phone conversation with that person, but really focus on that person's abilities. Focus based upon what you need. Ask yourself, does that person really have the ability to make this happen. Because if they don't, then you may have to, you know, look into that. You get what I'm saying? And another thing is, don't solely rely on that one person. You know, make a list of multiple people that have that ability to make that thing happen, because a lot of other people are busy as well. Other people need help as well. Other people need other things as well. And we can't just put all our eggs in one basket, just rely on that one person. Does that person have the ability to really, you know, get the job done?
You know, and I know I'm getting ready to step on my own toes when I say this, but another thing is that you can't, you know, use your expertise. You know, your expertise can't be the predominant thing that you want to highlight when you reach out for help. And what I mean by that is that if you reached out for help, this is not an opportunity to show what you know. It's an opportunity to learn. You know, and there's some instances that, you know, when we reach out for help, we find ourselves, well, I know that. You know, if you knew that, you would have been doing it already. And so if you've taken the step to say, you know what, these are my shortcomings, I need to reach out to somebody who's going to assist me, then do yourself the favor of, when you reach out for the assistance, to get assisted, you know, to get the assistance. You don't, that's not the occasion for you to be like Mr. Know-it-all and
Get
say,
out the
hey,
way.
you know, I know this, you know, I got this. Because once again, if you had it, you would have been doing it already.
Most definitely. And to add to that, I think it's very important, as soon as possible, to recognize the need for help.
Exactly.
I think sometimes we get it confused and we may delay and not even realize that we're actually delaying, because in our minds, well, I can get this done. Yeah, you can probably get it done, but is it supposed to just be you? You know what I'm saying? Because now we're putting on unnecessary, you know, tasks or weight on us, because I can do it. Okay, you have the ability to do it, but are you going to do it effectively? And I think that's a question that we have to ask as well. But the next point is be considerate. I think we have to really be mindful of the request based upon who we're asking or requesting, the type of help, you know, we're really requesting. So, you know, there's been times where, you know, people want, you know, I'll lend somebody a hand, but they'll take my whole body. You get what I'm saying? And we have to just be a little considerate, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, are we, and these are just random questions, are you asking for help at the last minute? You know, when the deadline is tomorrow? You know, are you waiting to late at night to catch somebody and you're getting upset because that person is about to go to bed? You know, are you, you know, is that person busy at that moment? You know, are they distracted? Did you catch them at a bad moment? You know, did you ask them, you know, when's a good time to talk? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Another thing is, there's certain things that we just shouldn't request over a text. You know, things can, you know, things can really get misunderstood via text, via email. Maybe we have to have that phone conversation. Maybe we have to have that sit down face to face. You know, we have to really ask ourselves, what's really appropriate. It's a difference if you ask for something small over a text, but if it's something that needs a lot of clarity, it may be something you may have to do over the phone or face to face.
You know, you said something that reminded me when I was in the military, and they said, you know, failing to plan does not constitute making an emergency for me, because you didn't plan accordingly doesn't make it my emergency. And so, you know, when you're asking people for assistance, once again, you have to be considerate and say, okay, you know, what, you know, in this request, what am I actually requiring of this person? You know, am I factoring the fact that they have to make a number of adjustments? You know, they have family, they have plans as well. And for me to just drop this on your lap, you know, that's not fair to you, especially if you knew in advance that you needed help. And a lot of times we have a tendency, if we need help, to wait to the last minute to make the ask. And then, you know, and it's quite unfair that when the person says no, you know, let's be honest, sometimes we're upset that they said no. But how much preparation and how much notice did you give that person? You know, so once again, consideration is huge. I would also say, another thing as it relates to asking for help is setting a realistic time frame in which you expect to be done with whatever it is you ask for help. Because at the end of the day, we're not trying to take up another person's time. We're not trying to absorb and use their whole time and not give them the liberty to do what they need to do. But the reality is that, we should know that, hey, look, this is probably going to take a few hours. This is going to take a couple of weeks, whatever, can I count on you for that? And that's huge in the ask, because oftentimes, we're not really specific in what we're asking for. A lot of stuff we leave for assumption. And, a lot of arguments happen because, and a lot of misunderstandings happen because everything is assumed. It's simply, a lot of that will be rectified if we just talk and we do a better job of communicating what our needs are. So once again, if you stepped out and asked for the help, follow it all the way through by articulating what is going to be required of that person that you're reaching out to.
Most definitely. If you can take one moment to share the video, we'll really appreciate it. One of the things that I do when I'm on the phone with someone and I may ask them for something, or I may request them to do something for me, I'll sometimes put the ball in their court. I'll say, when can you have this done?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? How much time do you need? And before I get out the phone, I'll say again, so you said you need 5 days, correct?
Yeah.
And, just to make sure, because, things can come up. But I think the deadlines, it causes or it eliminates so much frustration. And aside from that, we have to understand and remember that we're human. And I'll tell people friendly reminders are very, very vital, because we do forget and things do come up. So just do a friendly reminder, do a friendly check-in. I'm just, just seeing, if do you need another day or whatever the case may be, because we don't like surprises. You know what I'm saying? We don't like, okay, it's the day of or the day before, and we just now figuring out, well, a few days ago something came up. Well, you didn't tell me, but we don't want to overdo it. You get what I'm saying? We don't want to, do a check-in every hour, every few hours and so forth. I think a check-in or a friendly reminder is very, very important. But my next point is, we don't want to mess up our relationship.
Exactly.
So what I really want to, there's a difference between you really needing the help and you requesting the help because you just don't feel like doing it, or just due to laziness. So what I'm saying is, I really want us to be careful, especially if you're going to a person. If we typically have a person a go-to person, you get what I'm saying? And that go-to person is gonna understand your pattern. It's gonna get you just soon is gonna recognize your pattern. If they recognize that, this person is taking advantage of me because they just don't feel like doing X, Y, and Z, they're not gonna want to do it. You get what I'm saying? So really just ask yourself, am I really doing this because I just don't feel like it? Because we have our moments. Or am I doing this because I really need some help? I'm saying this because we have to understand it's not just about you. And if we don't forget that we're going to someone and that person has a right to say yes or no, and that person has a right to say yes or no the next time, that person, we have to respect people's feelings. And sometimes we're going to have to explain our situation. Why do you really need the help? If I go to you, bro, and I say, hey, man, I need $100, that you may be able to do that for me. You get what I'm saying? But there's a lot of people I do know. You get what I'm saying? And then I do have some family members that's local. You get what I'm saying? So for me to ask you for $100, you still going to think, you know what, Dominique could have went, he's my boy, but he still could have went to so many other people. Why is he coming to me for $100? You get what I'm saying? I just think it's respect. That's all it is. It's respect. And we don't always want that wandering mind. You get what I'm saying? We want to keep and maintain our relationships.
You went there. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I think another thing that is really helpful is not always trying to, for lack of better words, control how people go about helping. At the end of the day, let the results be let the end result
That's
be
good,
the most
man.
important thing. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of times, because now this speaks to control. If somebody's helping you, you can't control the way in which they go about administering the help. Let them, as long as the results are what you want, then let them provide that assistance. You know, at the end of the day, if you say, hey, you know, Dex, I need $100, the end result is you want $100.
Right.
You know, it's not, hey, Dex, I need you to go out there and work my job, work my 8-hour shift, and that make that $100 for me. No, you want $100. So, you know, it might be simply me just going to the bank, you know, making a withdrawal and giving it to you. But a lot of times, you know, we're so caught up in the control that we don't really want to relinquish the control. And if we relinquish the control, we want people to do things in the manner in which we would do it. But once again, you requested their help because, you know, they're able to do something that is going to either free you up or B, you might not be able to do it. And so if you've reached out to them because you know that they're capable, trust their ability to get it done. And once again, let the end result be the chief reason why you request the help.
It's funny the direction that we're going in because sometimes we're not always the easiest people to help. As much as we need the help, we have to really ask ourselves, you know, you may not even have an issue with asking help, you know, but you may be very hard to help. You know, you may be that person that always gets in the way, you know, and it's just fun in the direction that we're going in. It's communication, it's social skills, but also it's really having, and it's trust. That's trust. You know, do we really have the trust to allow them to help us? You know, some of us, we really walk around with a bald fist, and no one can lend us any money. No one can really, you know, reach out and really lend us a hand because we're just so complicated to help. I think what's very important as well is verbalizing and displaying your appreciation. There's so many ways to do this, you know, whether it's simply just saying thank you, or you're just simply providing somebody a gift or whatever the case may be, that acknowledgement, just doing something for them. And I think we have to really get in the habit of, you know, being that person that's always helping people.
I like it. Yeah.
You know, that's a way that we're always sowing seed, and people do watch. You know, it's just something about helping someone when you didn't have to. And there's a lot of people that feel that. And there's a lot of people that I've helped. I don't expect anything. I really just wanted to do it, and they felt like they really owed me something. You get what I'm saying? It made it a lot easier for them to help me and just do things for me because no one else was willing to do that. No one else was really willing to lend a hand. So just getting the habit that it should be not just a habit, it should be a lifestyle to help people. Helping is a lifestyle. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
And I really do believe that we're really making it easier. The more people that we help, the right people, you get what I'm saying? I think the more people we help, I think it makes it so much easier to get the help that we need.
Yeah, I want to share this a biblical principle if I can, and it says, and I believe this may be in Proverbs if I'm not mistaken, but it says that he who has friends must first show himself friendly, you know. And so at the end of the day, what you're speaking to is the law of reciprocity. And so, you know, if I'm always guarded and unable to assist, then it's going to be difficult for me to get the type of help that I need. You know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, you attract what you are, you know.
Definitely.
And so, you know, if you're one who's kind of hard to be found when it's time to help, you know, it's going to be, you're going to find that to be the case when you discover that you need help as well. It's going to, the assistance is going to be few and far between. You know, another thing I would say in reference to that, because you shared something really key. When somebody helps you, sometimes people feel obligated to turn right back around and help, like there's a debt. receive help as that which it is. Somebody came to your need and your assistance in your time of need.
Yeah.
You're not obligated from the standpoint of like a slave. Somebody's like, oh, well, they helped me, so I got to help them out.
Yeah.
No, when the need arises, you know, you'll be there. You know, if you're able to help, you know, make sure you provide that assistance. But, you know, I think a lot of times people, they bind themselves feeling like, you know, they owe this person a debt because the person assisted. No, they gave out of their heart. You know, there wasn't any compensation per se. You know, it was just, hey, you know, I see you need assistance, so I'm going to help you in this area. Another thing is that we can't be martyrs, and what I mean by that is that there's no honor. Let me be careful how I say this. You know, we can't find honor in always going about things alone, you know, from the standpoint of, well, I did it by myself and, you know, pat on the back. You know, there are a lot of things that are supposed to be done within a community of people. You know, there's a constant back and forth of gift exchanging. I have certain abilities that you need, just as you have abilities and gifts that I need. And we're supposed to always be interacting and exchanging those gifts with one another. And if we're friends and if we're in a relationship, that's what strengthens the relationship.
I'm so glad you cleared it up about taking or accepting the help almost like a debt. You know, I'm so glad you cleared that up. I really challenge people, everyone who's listening, to really make a list of some of the things that you're needing, whether it's a question, you know, there's an answer that you're needing to a question, or just something that you just been needing for a while. You know, just list those things and then list, you know, different people that, you know, you should reach out to, you know. And that's really putting the ball in your court, because for so many different reasons we are delaying this. And because we're delaying that, we're really delaying the us receiving whatever it is that we think that we're lacking, that we're needing. So make a list of the things that you're needing, the things that you're wanting, and so forth. And who can you go to for those answers? Who can you go to for more information? Who can you go to that can, you know, you'll be surprised when you request something and you end up getting even more sometimes. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and you know, there's some people that's actually willing to actually do things for you. You get what I'm saying? But we have no chance of really receiving when our hands is always balled up.
Exactly.
We have no way of receiving if we're just not going in with the mindset that there are just so many people around us, which is the greatest resource. There's so many people around us that have what we need, that have what we want, that have what we desire at the level that we desire to be at. But we have to ask. We have to put it out there.
And I'm gonna say this, and this will be my last point, because I noticed that a few of our viewers chimed in with it, so we're definitely tracking from the standpoint of you being able to provide the help, but unable to receive the help, and that goes much to what I was saying earlier about the martyrdom, because what happens is that if you're not careful, you're going to experience burnout. And then you're going to develop the wrong perception where you feel like no one is able to be there for you, nor is anyone able to provide the type of support that you often provide.
Right.
And we have to be careful where we're not always expending, but you have to be able to open up and allow people to assist you. A lot of times that goes to our inability to really communicate and be transparent about our needs. There's certain things we just don't want people to know. And because we were unable to share that with them, they can't help you. But but if you're not careful, you'll always be the one where you want people to trust you with their stuff, but you're unable to allow people to trust. You're not giving people the opportunity to be trustworthy with your stuff. And once again, we're talking about relationships and being help of assistance within those relationships. So, that was my point. But at the end of the day, that really speaks to balance when you're the one always giving help but unable to receive help, that's an issue with balance.
Most definitely. And it's usually those people who tend to have a big heart. I always say a big heart is actually a gift. The fact that you're willing to sacrifice your time and your energy and your resources more often than the average person, that's a gift. You know, it's because we don't really have too many people who are willing to go above and beyond for us. So really acknowledge that gift, acknowledge the fact that you're so willing to help people. But like we say, the downside with the people who have that big heart is that lack of balance. And we want to pour out, and we get to the point where we're already empty and we're saying, well, no one is really pouring into me. So really watch that balance when it comes down to your big heart. That's a gift. Really acknowledge that. That's a great thing. And I think we all need someone in our circle with that gift. I think that's beautiful. And if you think that we missed anything, you think you want to add on to anything that we said, go ahead and comment, DM us, inbox us, even email us at whenmenopenup@gmail.com. We really want some more feedback on some things that you want to add to the things that we already addressed. But if you have any upcoming events, upcoming seminars, panel discussions, whatever the case may be that you want us to participate in, you are more than willing to inbox us or email us at whenmenopenup@gmail.com. I really enjoyed this. I think this is going to be very helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything else you want to add before we get off?
No, that's it. We just really appreciate all of your support. We thank you for sharing this with your audiences, and continue to grow with us. And thank you for being here on the ride. That's about it.
Most definitely. And in partnership with WYTV7 Christian Broadcasters Network, this is When Men Open Up, a show where we are redefining manhood through transparency. My name is Dominique.
I'm Dexter Peggins.
And we are out. Join us next week. And once again, give us some feedback, share the video, and let someone else know about this video so they can chime in and get something from this. Thank you so much.